Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Julia. Thank you for inviting us. I'm really baffled. I don't know what, I wasn't prepared to give a talk, and encountering, what I just heard is just, it's very interesting. Yes, I mean, there's no doubt that there is prejudice in the media. There is no doubt that there are problems, but my point is that, yes, Iranian people are very sophisticated. It's a sophisticated country. Iran is probably one of the best educated countries in that region of the world. About 20% of Iranians, they have college degree or better. But the problem is not that. The problem is that we have a government that holds about 5,000 to 6,000 political prisoners. The women, they have virtually no right whatsoever when it comes to judicial processing. We have, they kill between 500 to 1,000, they're executing between 500 to 1,000 people a year for various charges. An attorney who defends her client with the rules that they have, they become angry at her, and she gets 37 years in jail. So we're talking about a country that there is virtually no rule of law, there is no liberty. We have over between 1,000 to 2,000 journalists that are in prison in Iran, and the country engages in all kinds of military adventures over the Iranian, outside of Iranian border, helping various dictatorships, like the Syrian butcher got supported from Iranian government, and as a result, he can stay in power probably for a longer time to kill more people. So to see Iran is a very complex issue. And what's even more complex when it comes to relationship with America and current administration. There is a lot to be said about that, because not every actions of this government, that I'm talking about Donald Trump, can be supported. The fact that Iranians are forbidden to come here, the facts that they're being discriminated, these are really points that there's no way to support them. But when it comes to actually being a warmonger, although Donald Trump's, tore up the Iranian nuclear deal, and at the same time he tore up the NAFTA, and he had a problem with North Korea. But both of those countries, they signed another agreement, which was more or less the same as the other NAFTA. And his supporters, they claimed that it was his genius that they got him this agreement. But everybody else knew that it's the same agreement, more or less the same. Or North Korea, by using his sort of demand to be to give him photo op, he's getting away with all kinds of recognition and getting everything else from America. But the Iranian government cannot do that. And the reason they cannot do that, we have an Ayatollah in power that it is as narcissistic and as, and he's actually a warmonger, that he starts war. Whatever we could say about Donald Trump, I think his actions are fascist in nature, because he wants to use terror to intimidate people, to frighten people. But he was proven that he's not a warmonger. If anything, he's a media monger. He wants to be, to be continuously covered and gets photo op. But it's not the same with the Iranian government, unfortunately. They really are eager to get into a fight, because according to most observers that they follow them, they feel that, first of all, majority of Iranians, the recent survey showed that 79% of Iranians, they do not support the regime and they do not want Islamic government in Iran. So losing the support of the country and having all kinds of economic problems, they're eager to get into a fight. And they think that this fight will first of all consolidate support for themselves internally, and at the same time they think that they could enlighten all other Islamic communities against the West, and it will be a global war against the West. This is what they're aching for. This is what they want. Now, if you have a government that violates human rights, kills people without trial, destroys the social fabric of the country, what is it that the international community could do? I don't think that if Hillary Clinton would have been president, the policy toward Iran would have been much different, because Obama administration signed the agreement with the understanding that there will be 3 separate negotiations with Iran to ultimately normalize the relationship between US and Iran. But as soon as they reached their first agreement and they had their money, about $150 billion, once they back to Iran, Ayatollah canceled all other agreements. In fact, he forbidden them to even talk to Americans. So I don't know whether, whether the same situation, maybe with different flavor, would have been, whoever became the president would have faced the same situation. But what to do with Iran? I think the sanctions are working. I don't believe war is the answer, because that's what the Ayatollahs want. I think we should stay away and make sure that we do not get trapped to a war with Iran, but we should continue the sanctions until this regime changes its behavior toward the Iranian people and normalize its relationship with the rest of the world. Well, we probably have to have different opinions, and then we could, vote with our conscience. Thank you.